But first, we are following a developing story tonight. The federal government trying to reassure millions of Americans they're not losing their health care insurance yet. Friday night, a judge ruled the Affordable Care Act is unconstitutional after Congress passed a tax law striking down the individual mandate. The president celebrated the ruling, saying it's time for Republicans and Democrats to come up with a new plan. One Democratic lawmaker says, not so fast.
Medicare took about 60, 70 years to get where it got. The Affordable Care Act has had about 6, 7 years. There's a lot of tweaking.
Healthcare analysts warn wiping out Obamacare without a replacement would bring chaos to the healthcare system. Now, all new at 5. We want to help you understand what this means for your healthcare coverage.
So we tracked down an expert to help us break this all down. 5 Year Side investigator Scott Knoll has been digging for answers. He joins us from the newsroom with what he found out today. Scott?
Yeah, this is a screenshot from the healthcare.gov website. Right across the top is a message telling people the court's ruling will not affect 2019 enrollment or coverage. And some say it may not affect much beyond that either. Case Western Reserve Law professor Jonathan Adler is no fan of the Affordable Care Act. Twice his arguments have been part of court challenges to the law. So you may be surprised to hear this.
I think this opinion is very unfortunate.
That's because Adler believes Judge Reed O'Connor overreached his authority, ruling the entire ACA unconstitutional. An argument that could be the basis for appeal in the case, first to the U.S. Court of Appeals and possibly all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Adler expects that could take a year or longer. In the meantime, the Trump administration says the law will remain in place.
For people that have just purchased insurance, for people that are making plans about health insurance, this decision doesn't have any practical effect yet, but it does declare that, at least in the view of this one judge, the entire law is unlawful.
This afternoon, Governor-elect Mike DeWine also said he doesn't expect the decision to survive court challenges, but pledged if ACA ends up DOA, Ohioans will still have access to insurance.
Whether they have a pre-existing illness or don't have a pre-existing illness, they need the right to buy insurance at a reasonable price, and we'll guarantee that.
Meanwhile, Adler has a guarantee of his own. This won't be the last time the Health Care Act lands before a judge.
The Affordable Care Act is an incredibly large piece of legislation. It was an incredibly controversial piece of legislation. It affects health care, which people have very strong feelings about, and involves decisions where there's often a lot of money at stake. That combination of factors is a perfect storm for litigation.
As for a possible timeline for the appeals process, Adler says that will depend on what motions get filed and how the courts respond to them. Live in the newsroom, I'm 5 On Your Side investigator Scott Knoll.